That day at the hospital was actually pretty normal for me at first, honestly, anyway. I was just there to visit my dad, nothing unusual, nothing that felt important yet. The elevator was slow, so I stood there scrolling my phone, thinking about grabbing coffee later. When the doors opened, it was noisy outside, but not the usual kind of emergency chaos. It sounded more like people chatting, a little excited, like something worth celebrating had just happened. After a few steps, I finally caught a sentence clearly, loud enough to cut through everything. Damn, congrats, man, someone said, and the tone instantly made me look up. There were a lot of people gathered in the hallway, forming a loose circle around something. The first person I saw was him, Daniel Brooks, standing in the center of it all. People were patting his shoulder, laughing, some already calling others to share the news. The atmosphere felt wrong, too light, too celebratory, completely out of place for a hospital setting. I slowed down and stopped walking, just stood there quietly, watching everything unfold in front of me. A little closer, and I saw Chloe Bennett lying there, pale but smiling softly. My mind went blank in that moment, not shock exactly, more like a delayed reaction. Someone nearby asked casually, "It's a boy?" And another voice answered without hesitation. Yeah, first one too, followed by laughter that didn't feel wrong to anyone but me. Then someone joked, "Guess she finally gave you what your wife couldn't," and people chuckled quietly. No one denied it, and no one thought there was anything inappropriate about saying that out loud. I stood there, and in that exact moment, I finally understood what I was looking at. That was his child, not a misunderstanding, not something that needed explanation, just the truth. I didn't move or say anything while they kept talking, even texting others about it excitedly. Yeah, he just had a kid, someone said, as if announcing good news worth sharing everywhere. I felt something strange, not sadness, more like I had walked into a scene that excluded me entirely. Like I had no place in that picture, like I had never been part of it to begin with. Then I heard her voice, soft but clear enough to reach him through the noise around them. "Do you think he looks like you?" she asked, and Daniel leaned down to look closely. He touched the baby's face gently, something I had never seen him do before, not once. That was when I knew for sure, without needing another second to process anything further. I took one step forward and someone noticed me, but no one said anything at all. The atmosphere shifted slowly, laughter fading, people stepping aside quietly, creating space for me. No one called my name, but they moved like they understood what was happening now. Daniel finally looked up and saw me standing there, and he froze for a moment. "Emily, you're here?" he said, letting go of the baby as if caught doing something wrong. I walked closer, standing right in front of him, close enough to see everything clearly. I glanced at the baby, then back at him, letting the silence stretch just a little longer. "I didn't know we were celebrating," I said softly, but loud enough for everyone to hear. Someone let out a quiet laugh, and his expression immediately changed, tightening with discomfort. "Emily, listen, it's not what you think," he started, but I nodded and cut him off. "Okay," I said simply, not giving him the chance to finish whatever excuse he prepared. I turned to Chloe, who was already crying, holding the baby tighter like I might hurt him. For some reason, that made me want to laugh, though nothing about it was actually funny. "So, should I congratulate you? Or what?" Her face turned pale, tears falling faster, her voice trembling as she tried to speak. "I don't want anything. Please, don't make him choose," she said just loud enough. I didn't respond, just raised my hand and slapped her across the face without hesitation. The sound echoed through the hallway, sharp enough to make everyone react at once. Some people gasped, others lifted their phones, capturing everything like it was entertainment. She covered her face, crying harder, then suddenly dropped to her knees in front of me. Still holding the baby, she begged, "Please." The baby didn't do anything. Voice shaking. I looked at her without expression, then raised my hand again, ready to strike once more. Before I could, someone grabbed my wrist hard, stopping me with force I didn't expect. It was Daniel, his grip tight, his voice low but cold as he said one word: enough. I looked at him and said quietly, "You told me you didn't love her anymore?" He paused for a second, then said, "Yeah, I don't love her. That hasn't changed. But she just gave birth, and I'm not going to let you treat her like this." I stared at him, and before I could answer, he added something that ended everything. "Emily, stop. You're embarrassing yourself." The hallway fell completely silent, people looking away, but no one stepping in to help. In that moment, I realized there was nothing left worth saying anymore. I nodded once and said, "Okay, then let's divorce." His expression changed instantly, and he grabbed my chin hard, forcing me to look at him. "Not happening." "Don't bring that up again. You think this is like last time?" I didn't answer, just raised my hand again, but this time I didn't reach anyone. He shoved me suddenly, and I lost my balance, hitting the back of my head hard. The impact made everything ring, something warm running down through my hair slowly. But he had already turned away, rushing back to her, voice filled with concern. "Chloe, are you okay?" I sat there on the floor, watching him, while the noise around me returned gradually. People were talking again, filming again, but I couldn't hear any of it anymore. I stood up by myself, no one helping, no one even looking at me anymore. I walked out of the hospital alone, and no one tried to stop me. Outside, the sunlight was too bright, almost blinding after everything that just happened. I stood there for a moment, then took out my phone and dialed the number. They answered quickly, like they had been waiting for this exact call to come. "You were right," I said calmly. "He didn't change at all." There was a short silence on the other end before they finally spoke again. "So, when are you leaving?" I looked at the people passing by and said, "As soon as possible. I'll get my parents out first. Once they're safe, I disappear completely." They laughed softly and said, "Good. This time we do it right."